What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
And we are live. Good morning, everybody. It's your favorite truck driver in the whole wide world, ex-truck driver in the whole wide world, Bitcoin Ben. Here for the update on what is going on around the world right now, economically. Guys, we're at war. We are officially at war. The old system is at war with the new system because they don't want to let go of their control of us. This system has actually been set up so it pulls your wealth away from you, and actually they can siphon it off to them. Let's really think about this, guys. Every week, let's say you actually get paid every week and you have a 401k, and millions of people have a 401k. And so every week, millions and millions are poured into these shares, these stocks. Not yet. And they supposedly lock up your shares. You know, you have these many shares in your 401k account. Well, see, that is the money that they are robbing everyone from. Every week, you actually add to your 401k. And every week, or every few weeks, the financial system, the traders, they come in and they wipe out that money that you sent in and your shares drop. That's exactly what the Federal Reserve does with our money. They print up money, then they wait a while, then they print up some more, wiping out your labor value that you worked for over the last period of time. Remember, in the last 5 years, they've wiped out 25% of what you worked for. Let's really let that sink in. They've wiped out, or no. They've swiped your labor value in the last 5 years, 25%. That means that in 2020, let's say you worked 1 week and you actually got paid $1,000. And that $1,000 you actually put in your savings account. Well, if you held that $1,000 for 5 years, Now it's only worth $750. Yeah, they stole that because they printed up more currency. Now, what we have going on right now with the Bitcoin, with a lot, right? Here's a great example. Elon Musk. Elon Musk has a vote at Tesla, right, for his future pay package. Well, those who hold the majority of his shares, they don't actually own it. They represent 401ks. They represent all of these other, let's use BlackRock. BlackRock's a great an ETF. Well, they hold the actual Bitcoin. You own the ETF, but you don't own the Bitcoin. You do not have it in your private wallet. Well, that's exactly how it is with shares, because BlackRock has the control of the Bitcoin. Just like BlackRock holds a lot of shares in custody for Tesla. Well, there are they hire other entities that will actually place the vote for the shares, although they don't own the shares. And what we have going on right now is we have corporations from the old system, the real regulators, not Washington, D.C., where I am at, the real regulators of the market. And these are the entities that will short whatever company they don't like. They went after Elon Tesla. They shorted Tesla because they could short it, then sell a bunch of it and push the price all the way down to their short. They buy back in. They short it again. They drop the price. This is exactly what they're trying to do with the Bitcoin. And guys, BlackRock is not your friend. BlackRock is not a hodler. BlackRock is one of these companies. See, BlackRock relies on the laziness of humans, right? They just want to trade a bunch of Bitcoin. I want to catch me some fiat. I want to get me some fiat so I can put it in the bank and absolutely lose my ass because they're just going to print more. This whole system, all of New York, which, by the way, New York, if you elect a socialist, good luck with that, because you're going to get exactly what you freaking deserve. This system was not created for you guys. It wasn't created for actual improvement of the American people. It has been created for the companies, for the corporations, and for the government. Like I said yesterday, the Federal Reserve's job, let's remember what their job is. The Federal Reserve's job is to manipulate the market. That's their job. They set the interest rate of money. Well, why do they set the interest rate for money? Because in 1913, they snuck in, them and all of their little friends, they snuck in and they launched the Federal Reserve. Well, the Federal Reserve removes the authority of the people of the money. See, the U.S. has a Treasury Department. Well, the problem is that the Treasury Department ain't got no fucking treasure. Everything is rehypothecated futures. What do you think a treasury bond is? When they sell a treasury bond to the Federal Reserve, what is that treasury bond representing? Future taxation. See, I've said this for years. The Civil War didn't free anybody. It enslaved us all. Because now they have the authority to sell futures on our labor. See, I hear so many people like, oh man, all this technology, we ain't got no privacy. Guys, we haven't had privacy since like 1860-ish, 1867-ish. Why? Guys, the government, the Social Security Administration is the ledger of human labor. That's why when you're born, you have to register. You have to create a birth certificate, which is also known as a title. That's what a birth certificate is. It's a title of ownership. That's why your mom signs it, your dad signed it. They issue your name, and you're issued a Social Security number. That's the same process that they use whenever they create a title for a car or a ship or a house. We are viewed as products of the federal government. We are their assets. We are their civilians. Civilians are just a designation of property owner. Or as property, we are civilians. That's the equivalent of someone saying, that's my ship. I own the title. I can get a loan against the title of my ship. That's what the federal government actually does with you. The moment you're born, they sell a futures, which we call as selling the Treasury bond to the Federal Reserve. They sell our future labor, our worth, into the future. And the Federal Reserve creates money based on your future. Guys, there is calculations in the Federal Reserve. Why do you think they don't want to be audited? Because let's say when you are born, right? This is how they apply vaccines and how there are vaccine regulations for children being born. Those vaccines, the reason that they say that they can legislate that you give your child vaccines is because they view that child as your property. As soon as the mother and the father sign the birth certificate, the title, send it in, register it with the Social Security Administration, which might as well fucking be called the DMV of humans. They issue you a Social Security number. That's your vehicle identification number. That's what that is. Your Social Security number is your vehicle identification number. You're just a human vehicle. This whole system, since the Civil War, has actually been set up where you have no sovereignty. You are a product. You are a resource, hence the name human resource. Yeah, because they only view you as a resource for labor and capital. That's it. The Federal Reserve creates a value for you when you're born. All right? Let's look at it. You have a woman and a man. They have a child. That child is, let's say it's a white child. Let's use me as an example. It's a white child, right? A Caucasian that is born in a little shithole town in Missouri in 1975. They have a calculation that gives them a rough estimate of how much I will produce in labor over the next 10 years. Right? That's why we sell a 10-year bond. It's absolutely fucking criminal. We are the products of the United States government and the United States banking system, and now the global banking system. Do you know why we're in so much fucking debt? Because us Americans, we have been leveraged into the future to pay for the rest of the world. You think $38 trillion actually was spent here in America? I don't know about you, but America's kind of got some infrastructure issues. Do you think $38 trillion went into America? No, it went out into the world. Our future labor, our $37 trillion in fucking debt went out to the world. Our labor was leveraged. Our children's labor was leveraged in a bond that went to the Federal Reserve to create a debt that we now owe, that they say we owe. Well, that's bullshit. We don't owe them jack fuck. Because I don't know about you, but I did not agree to be a product when I was fucking born. And neither were you. I have so many people ask, hey, yo, Ben, why are you in Bitcoin? Why are you launching a credit union? Why are you doing all this? Because, guys, the old system's dying. And there's reasons it's dying. It's mostly dying because it's inefficient and corrupt. We have to replace the system with a sovereign system, not where the system has sovereignty, but you have sovereignty. If we don't have sovereignty, we are slaves. If you wake up in the morning to try and make money, ooh, I can't wait to get that Lambo. Ooh, I can't wait to get that Ferrari. Ooh, I can't wait to get a bigger house. Ooh, I can't wait. You're a fucking idiot. I'm going to be the richest guy in this fucking prison. Because that's what it is. The money, the currency is what your prison is built out of. Because they control the prison. You just happen to have a little bit more money than the other prisoners because you don't own your labor. They don't want you to be able to hold your labor. The whole system is actually built on your future labor. If you can claim your own labor and they cannot devalue it, you break their system. Their system is dependent on you working your ass off and them devaluing the currency that you worked your ass off to get. Guys, I don't own a Lambo. I don't want a fucking Lambo. I don't want a big house. I don't want any of this bullshit because it's all fucking bullshit. It's all social engineering bullshit. You don't even own your house. You pay off your house. You still got property taxes. Guess what? You know why? Because the slave has to pay the rent to the owner. Who's the owner? The state. This is all bullshit. And I, for one, I don't give a flying fuck if I leave this planet broke. You know why? Because I'm not fucking taking it with me anyway. But what I do want to leave this planet with is more freedom than when I fucking got here and they issued my title. You think George Washington, friggin' Benjamin Franklin, any of the founding fathers, do you think that their idea was, you know what, let's create a country. And in the future, let's basically enslave all the people. Yeah, that's a good fucking idea. No, the problem is we have so many people and corporations that have actually joined the system to leech off of you and leech off of our labor, our productivity. And that's the system they've lived in. That's the system that has got them wealthy. See, no one in New York that works for the financial system, the financial markets, they're not your fucking friend. That whole system doesn't produce jack fuck. They don't build anything. It's an illusion. They're like, oh, if you buy these shares, then you hold them for 40 years. And then when you hold them for 40 years, you'll have them in your 401k. Then you can live off your 401k. Well, what are you doing? You're giving your labor value to a corporation that don't give, and a lot of them, they really don't like you. They would rather you fucking be dead. Let's be honest, our healthcare system sure in the fuck don't care and ain't got a goddamn thing to do with health. The reason I'm in Washington, D.C. is because there are countries that are working to create systems of sovereignty. El Salvador is one of them. We're trying to fix the system here in America. We are trying to. But the reason our credit union is in El Salvador is because, I don't know if you've looked around, guys, but there's a socialist about to win up in New York as the mayor. That's a bad sign. If this guy wins, it's and I'm not even talking about him winning and ruining New York. Him winning will give the socialist movement momentum. And that the left is great at moving momentum. They're like, oh, we won up in New York. Now let's go to Chicago and let's run a socialist there. And unfortunately, the majority of the people, because of this system, has beat them down. They work 2 or 3 jobs and they still can barely get by. We have young people coming out of college, which is a total waste of fucking time. And they have $100,000, $200,000 worth of debt, and the debt is represented by a piece of fucking paper that basically is now worthless because the reputations of the universities are so shit. They don't really teach you anything. They just push you through and give you a piece of paper because college is no longer challenging. I have nothing against the original idea of colleges. Nothing against that. There are some people in this world who are extremely intelligent and should go to college. Then there are people like me who are just average Joes. Hey, college wasn't for me because it didn't make any sense. I went to college and they started teaching me about rocks in geology class, and I had to take that class. I wasn't going to college to learn about fucking rocks. That's like going in to learn about plumbing, and they say, while you're here learning how to be a plumber, let's teach you how to plant cauliflower out in a garden. Well, what the fuck does cauliflower have to do with learning how to be a plumber? Well, it's a well-rounded education. Well, motherfucker, I'm not here for a well-rounded education. I'm here to learn how to be a fucking plumber. How about we focus on some pipes and shit? The universities are absolutely garbage. They were taken over in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Guys, the Revolutionary War never ended. We're still in it. That's where we're at. And now we have an old financial system who has leached off of our labor that is literally crashing because of technology and its absolutely fucking corrupt system. I watch Bloomberg. I watch CNBC. They're all sitting there in a circle jerk trying to figure out, how is the Federal Reserve going to manipulate the market? Let's ask this expert. Gee, how do you think that the Federal Reserve is going to manipulate the market? Well, I think they should manipulate it up. I think they should manipulate it down. Well, I mean, because if they manipulate it up, it's going to hurt the little people like they give a fuck. And if we manipulate it down, that might let them maybe be able to afford a house. The money is the problem. And that's why we have so many global organizations trying to push you out of the real money, the Bitcoin. Because they want you to look at the price and not the purpose. That's it. They want you to look at the price and not the purpose. The purpose of the Bitcoin is to get the fuck out of the old system. If you look at at where we're at in this industry, we're just at the beginning of our industry tapping into the old system and draining it of all of its value. They don't like that. The old system doesn't like you or us having a product, the Bitcoin, having a system that can tap into theirs and drain their economic value out of their system into the new system. They don't like that because that's their job. That's their job to actually come and remove money from you. You're not supposed to plug into their system. Hey, anybody, you want to know what's really going on? You talk with Michael Saylor. He'll tell you what's going on. Why do you think over the last probably 2 or 3 months, Michael Saylor has only actually purchased maybe 400 a week, maybe 300, maybe 280 a week? Because the old system has him blacklisted. It's why they gave him the credit rating. They gave him a B minus. That's junk bonds. But the reason they gave him a B minus is because they do not calculate the Bitcoin as an asset of the company. If they did, he would be ranked A+. But they said, no, we will not value the Bitcoin at market value. They won't. They won't value it at all. He actually received 0 credit for his capital holdings. That's like looking at Tesla and saying, okay, we're going to value Tesla, but we're not going to include the value of all of the manufacturing, all of the intellectual property. We're not going to value it for anything except just the income. We're just going to value it on how many Teslas are sold, not on the capital of the company. This is absolutely corrupt, and this is all on purpose, guys. The old system is now going after Michael Saylor because he produced a superior product. And they don't like that. No. Basically, what Michael Saylor did is he created his own interest rate. Ooh. Well, you can't do that. That's the Federal Reserve's job, and everything's supposed to go off the Federal Reserve's accepted allowance interest rate. That's it. Now they're going after Michael Saylor because he produced a better product than they did. They can't have that, so they're blacklisting him because they don't want him into the S&P 500. They don't, because if he's in there with a superior product, let's think about this, S&P bonds, the average S&P bonds about 4.25%. He's offering 10.5% on his bond. How quick do you think insurance companies are going to buy his bond like that? They're like, wait, 4.25, fucking 10.5. We need at least 7 to survive. We're actually getting a 3.5 cushion on his bond. I want you guys to realize we're at war. The old system is either going to surrender to the new system or they're going to bring it all down. I'm telling you guys, the reason I'm in Washington, D.C. is because I'm working my ass off, and so is my team, to create the new system for all of you so you can get out of the old system. This is not the system we're going to have in 5 years. Guys, AI. I wish I could elaborate on how important it is that you realize the fundamental shift that AI is. AI is going to destroy anything that is rehypothecated. It's going to destroy markets. It's going to destroy, because you're going to have good people using AI in markets, and AI will search out the discrepancies in the systems. You're going to see a whole lot of banks get, because they're all leveraged on rehypothecation and all reliant on Federal Reserve Treasury bonds. The whole system is reliant on human future labor. Guys, I don't know if you've heard this, but there's not as many humans that are being born. They're losing their capital, but they don't care, especially at the top, because the elites, fuck it, they'll have robots, they'll have AI. What are we? We're basically humanoid robot AI. The new ones are just made out of metal. We're a little bit more squishy. We have to unite. We have to unite around one thing. That's Bitcoin. Because it isn't about the price. It's not about the price. It's about the purpose. We're at the point that the founding fathers were at in 1786. Weights and measures. Weights and measures. That's how they separated from the old system, was the weights and measures. It's why we have inches. It's why we have feet. We have yards. It's why we use a completely different calculus on our thermometers, because it's weights and measures. We're transitioning, everyone watching this right now, we're transitioning into honest weights and measurements. That is the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is honest weights and measurements. That's what the founding fathers, that's how they broke away from the old system, is honest weights and measurements. I know one thing. I'm going to keep on going, keep on fighting for this new system, because what is the other choice? If you think you're in it for the money, you have totally missed the fucking purpose of all of this. This is about your freedom. This is about your liberty. This is about your country. This is about your world that God gave us. And we're sitting there arguing, let's see, is the Bitcoin worth 109 little pieces of paper, or is it worth 107 little pieces of paper? Motherfucker, it's pieces of paper. It's pieces of paper that they print the shit out of. Here's an example. The Federal Reserve just printed in the last 5 fucking days $125 billion into the repo market. Think about that. $125 billion. If this sounds familiar, COVID, right? This system's broke. And even worse, there's areas of it that aren't broke. They work how they were built to work. They're just corrupt. We call them broke, but they're really just corrupt. It's like you actually purchase a remote control airplane and you choose to leave off one of the wings, and then you complain that it doesn't fly. Well, yeah, because you left off well, it's a plane, it should fly. Not if it doesn't have the right actual pieces. The system was not created honestly. The system was created to manipulate us, you, your children, your grandchildren, your grandfather, your grandmother. The system was created to leverage the labor. Why do you think it's ironic that as the number of people making a decent salary dropped in America, that the size of the government went up? That was a wealth transfer. As you and I get poorer because they deflate our money, the government gets bigger. Why? Because they run the system that leverages your labor and your future labor, treasury bonds, and they absorb that wealth into them. The money, when it's created, the dollars, when they're created, the Federal Reserve and the banks and the government get it first. Then as they issue it out into the society, it loses value and hyperinflates all of the products. They receive it at the peak of its value. Then as they spend it out into society, it loses value every level it goes. They've got it great. Washington, D.C. is absolutely beautiful. You wouldn't know it shut down. All of the buildings are beautiful. Looks nothing like Detroit. Which, gee, what happened to Detroit? That's right. Washington, D.C. fucked it. Washington, D.C. looks like a fucking paradise. You know why? Because this is where all the criminals fucking live. The criminals have nice cities. Look at this. This is so beautiful. You know what built this fucking city? You actually built Washington, D.C. Your labor left Detroit and built D.C. Your labor left St. Louis and built D.C. This is the most corrupt fucking city in the world. It is wealthy because you're poor. It's wealthy because they don't produce anything here. Washington, D.C., the federal government doesn't produce anything. They just reallocate capital. And they don't reallocate it to you. They take it from your wallet to their treasury. Because They view your treasure as their treasure. Washington, D.C. is doing great, folks. How's your little community doing? Not so hot? Everyone working 2 or 3 jobs? Not here in Washington, D.C. We definitely got some, let's call them chubby and happy people here in D.C. This place is a cesspool of fucking slavery. These are the slave owners, folks. We're amongst the slave owners. D.C. The slave owners be living nice, massa. The slave owners be having some nice shit around here. Us workers, we do what we can. We need a new system. We have a new system where if people in Washington, D.C., if they want to become wealthy, produce something, motherfuckers. Produce something. Don't reallocate the money that you print off of our bonds, which is tied to our labor, which is our freedom. Don't live off of our labor. Live off your own fucking labor. If you're a bureaucrat, you're just a worthless fucking piece of shit. Because a bureaucrat doesn't produce anything. The workers do. And socialism is the system of bureaucrats. Now they sell the bullshit to the people. Workers of the world unite. Bullshit. The only people that actually get rich in socialism is the people running the socialist system. The only rich communist is the leader of the communist movement. It ain't the fucking little guys. And I, for one, am sick and tired of this. Washington, D.C. should be a fucking trailer park. That's why our founding fathers put it here, because it was a fucking swamp and it was uncomfortable and it had a bunch of mosquitoes with malaria. You guys come here half a year during the cold weather because they're like, let's not make it comfortable. Let's make it uncomfortable so these fucktards aren't writing rules and regulations and laws against the American people. Remember, the federal government was only fucking created so they could have a ledger of agreed upon currency. That's it. Everything else is a bold-faced fucking lie. I digress. It's Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. Fuck, I don't even know what day it is. It's a good day because I'm here in Washington, fuck me, D.C., surrounded by bureaucrats who cannot wait to tell you how much you owe them. And I'm here to work with El Salvador and at least give us an exit ramp or an option exit ramp with the new system. Because guys, we are going one way or we are going another here in America. One way is freedom, and I don't mean kind of free. I mean fucking free. We need to get rid of the federal government as it is now. We need Washington, D.C. to be a fucking ghost town. Because the only way that America lives is if Washington, D.C. dies. And I mean the bureaucracies. It's your choice, guys. It's your choice and it's my choice. And I choose to work my ass off to change the system because we have no choice. Either we replace the system or the system replaces us. And if you don't believe that, AI and robotics, artificial human intelligence, robotics replacing labor. Interesting, guys. Interesting. Okay, now, if you guys, this is why we do this. If you guys are interested in getting some Bitcoin, we have multiple ways of getting you Bitcoin. We can get you a personal loan and get some Bitcoin. We can refinance your house and get you some Bitcoin. We can help you sell your kidney and get you some Bitcoin. Well, I don't know about that last one, but damn it, we can try. Our job is to help you guys get as much fucking Bitcoin as you can possibly get. Because we have to move to the new system, or the old system is going to kill us. Remember, don't look at the price, look at the purpose. That's the secret. You don't want more dollars, you want more freedom. You want more sovereignty. Everyone, have a great day. Give us a call or send us a text at 941-413-8080. 941-413-8080. Give us a call or send us a text and just ask, how in the hell can you get me some more Bitcoin? And remember, it's no KYC. You know why? Because it's fucking not their business. Love you guys. Welcome to the club. Bye-bye.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.